There's a job carnage on inside big tech right now. Thousands of employees have already been sacked. Thousands of others are waiting for a pink slip any day. Here are the cuts announced by the biggest tech companies of the world. Amazon, as you know, is sacking 14,000 people, and some reports suggest this culling could go up to as high as 30,000. Alphabet, Google's parent company, had a bit of a first mover advantage here. It already sacked some 12,000 employees in 2023, and since then, reports suggest it has let go of hundreds of others in dribs and drabs. Microsoft has laid off over 15,000 people in two big hacks in May and July this year. And finally, Meta. It has axed about 4,300 jobs this year, and reports say this number will go up to 8,000. These are just the big four. There are thousands of others who have lost their jobs who work in smaller tech companies, and these include, as you know, many in India. Now, it is not completely out of the ordinary for layoffs to happen. They do happen. They happen during times of economic crisis, during periods of recession. But these are taking place at a time when these tech giants are making record profits. Even their shares have done reasonably well this year. Since the beginning of 2025 till the time of recording this video, Alphabet's stock has gone up by 44%. Microsoft's share price has risen by 29%. Meta has risen by 25%. And even Amazon, which has had a lackluster year on the markets this year, has given a 5% return. So they're sacking people en masse while being in no financial trouble at all. These employees are being sacked because suddenly their employers don't find them useful anymore. They are all being replaced by artificial intelligence, AI. Tech biggies have either already implemented AI-driven systems to manage their workflows, or else they are investing big in AI systems to get rid of human beings. That, my friends, is the real human face of big tech billionaires who we as a society collectively have turned into the heroes of the 21st century. So who exactly are on the AI hit list? They are middle managers and what some call managers of managers. Basically people who oversee middle managers. Till very recently, they were the backbone of corporate org structures. Literally the conduits of information up and down the corporate ladder. Their role was to supervise, discipline, track and gather information about how the frontline employees were performing. They did everything needed to maximize corporate profits that the top bosses didn't want to do, either because they didn't want to do these mundane and repetitive tasks, or because it involved getting their hands dirty, like sitting on a junior employee's head and nagging them to work extra long hours, which no top boss wants to do, right? They want to be popular. If you're interested in knowing more about the crucial role middle managers used to play and why they are no longer needed, I made a detailed video on that. The link is here on top of your screen and in the description below. You can watch it once you've finished watching this video. This middle rung of corporate management, which was once rewarded for its unquestioning loyalty, is now being discarded and cast aside like the detritus of history. And what is the language, the common language that all big tech bosses are using right now to justify these layoffs? That removing these people is to reduce bureaucracy, increase efficiency, remove layers between the decision makers and those who do the actual work. That basically these managers are not needed anymore. For those of us who have lived through the 80s and 90s, this language is so reminiscent of the end of the welfare state, right? When government staff were trimmed in the name of removing bureaucracy and increasing efficiencies. It's all come back a full circle. So across the board, it's the reasonably senior white-collar employee who is being asked to leave. This is happening everywhere. Take Amazon, for instance. Reports say that 78% of those who have already been laid off are in the L5 to L7 managerial categories. In Amazon, an L5 employee could be someone with 6 years of experience, earning between $200,000 to $300,000 a year. In our money, that is 1.7 to 2.5 crore a year. When we take official exchange rates, and in terms of purchasing power parity, or what the money can buy actually in India, it is about 80 lakhs to 1.2 crore rupees a year. Above them are the L6 employees, typically with 8 to 15 years of experience, earning between $300,000 to $500,000 per year. In nominal rupee terms, that's 2.5 crore to 4.5 crore a year, and in purchasing power parity, it is 1.2 crore to 2 crore a year. Promotion from L5 to L6 level reportedly takes a lot of hard work, and you have to have a lot of potential. Then come the L7 employees. At Amazon, they're at the same level as a VP would be in another company. Basically, pretty senior. Again, to go from L6 to L7, you need to have performed better than 90% of peers. Right? Salaries here can go up to $750,000 per year with bonuses. That is 6.6 crore rupees at the official dollar to rupee exchange rate, and 3 crore rupees a year in terms of purchasing power parity. These salary levels are broadly similar in all big tech companies, which means that those who have been sacked or will be sacked soon are among the top layer of income earners in corporate America. Now we can look at it from another angle, and if someone earns $200,000 in a year, they are considered to be in the top 5% of individual income earners in the USA. And if we assume that as a family they earn a little more, on an average, let's say $250,000 at the lower end, that would put them in the richest 10% of households in the USA. An average manager in a tech company in the USA earns between $200,000 to $500,000, depending on the level at which they are placed in the corporate hierarchy. And as I said, some of them would be earning as much as $750,000, including bonuses. They are all among the top 5% of individual earners, and definitely the top 10% in terms of total family income that they get. These are the people on AI's hit list right now. This is where big tech is making the deepest and unkindest cuts of all. And this fallout is going to be far wider than tech alone. Let's unpack the reason why. Household consumption, or what the average Joe and their family buys in the USA, accounts for nearly 70% of the USA's economy or GDP. And the richest 10% of Americans, which includes these tech managers who are being sacked, account for nearly half of all household consumption. Now, if you don't believe these numbers, just look up this report in the Wall Street Journal, which was published in February this year. It will tell you that this is what the numbers are. Now, think about this. Those who are losing their jobs right now are among the most affluent white-collar professionals in America. They buy homes, buy expensive cars and high-end gadgets. They eat out at fancy restaurants, fly business class, buy good seats and at musicals and basketball games. They send their kids to private schools and the top colleges that charge high fees. They invest regularly in mutual funds and save in banks, and a part of their money flows into large insurance and pension funds. A big chunk of that expenditure and savings is suddenly going to dry up. Even those who are safe right now will think twice before any kind of big ticket spending, and they will gradually cut back on all luxuries because they will all believe that they are next in line on this pink slip conveyor belt that has started moving. Reuters has reported that US consumers have already cut back on discretionary spending, such as on travel and entertainment, but the rich have still been driving consumption this year. The massive layoffs in tech will definitely dent that as well. What the tech giants are doing is that they are setting a narrative for the rest of corporate America, that it is okay to sack people in the name of efficiency, even when you are raking in mega bucks in profits. If big tech is doing this, imagine what the companies that are not doing well will do. They too will experiment with AI and automate routine managerial jobs and managerial processes. Big management consultants and recruitment firms are already predicting that at least 25 to 30% of management jobs will be eaten up by AI in the coming few years. When that happens, a big chunk of America's upper middle class will crash down the income distribution ladder, right? And what will that do? That will also take down consumption, and a big part of the American economy will also be taken out by that. What big tech is doing is going to be disastrous, not just for the USA, but for the future of capitalism itself. If you want me to make a more detailed video on how tech billionaires are putting capitalism in danger, please let me know in the comments. And also comment below and join the discussion on this great white-collar recession that is taking place all across the world and threatening the global economy. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That's it for now. Stay informed.